Thank you. My name is Carl Didrik Brustad Tjernstad. Carl is probably the easiest. And I'm going to tell you briefly, quickly about my experience with mindfulness interaction. Because I was sitting at the back of my auditorium at my university here in Norway. And I was tired. I wanted to go home and do nothing. And this guest lecturer, she's here from Columbia University. So I was paying attention with maybe one polite ear, and the other one wasn't listening. Until she mentions that she has been working with indigenous people in the Amazon rainforest. And then all of a sudden I'm listening with both ears, because this is very interesting now. At the end of her lecture, I go down and I ask her, how did you go to the Amazon and how did you get to work with indigenous people? And she just looks at me. Nothing, no word, no nothing. She just looks at me. And she looks at me for so long that I start to realize that I didn't introduce myself. I didn't say my name. I didn't say thank you for the beautiful presentation. But at least I look at her back and she says, eventually she says, you can come with me to the Amazon. And I'm like, what? Like, at least ask my name before you do that. But I thought that was an amazing answer. And I kept talking to her and decided to join her methodology, which she called mindfulness interaction. So I'm introduced to these methods, these techniques, and well, they're interesting at least. So I start reflecting and I start putting up goals and I start reflecting on these goals. And I start reflecting on my emotions and how I want my emotions to be or how I want to feel, what I want to do. And during the first week of MIA, I was asked to do this dance show because I was dancing with this group of break dancers, and they asked me if I wanted to join their show and dance in front of hundreds, maybe 1,000 people. Well, it was quite scary, to be honest. But being conscious about my goals, what I really want to do, I reflected upon this and I thought that, okay, what am I going to regret? Am I going to regret doing it and failing and having a great story to tell? Like, that's the worst case? Or am I going to regret cowarding out and not doing it? So, reflecting upon this, I decided to do it. And it turned out to be a blast. I had friends in the audience. I can tell my grandchildren I freaking breakdanced in front of thousands of people. And that was just a great experience. So, continuing in week 2, I start to pay attention to what I want to do. More of this. What do I want to do? Like, there's no shame in it. There's no reason for me not to do it. So I might as well do it. I have the choice between going at midnight to see a meteor shower. I was also supposed to go to school the day after, but once again, what do I want to do? And I went to the forest during the winter night to watch the meteor shower. And I lay down, like I feel myself, I feel my body, I feel the forest, I smell it, I'm right there, and the shower begins. Like above me, the endless, vast, deep winter night. And small pieces of rock just zoom, 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 lighting up the sky. And there I am, like I'm really very, very happy I'm here right now. Going back, I was thinking about the trip I had, and I was also memorizing things that I have thought of during my little trip. And one of the things was I memorized because one of my goals was to improve my memory. So I stand there looking at like a random point in the sky, and I want to remember this, and I want to remember that, and all of a sudden, exactly where I'm looking, the biggest fireball of the night just boom lights up the sky, exactly where I'm looking, and I'm like, and I want to remember that and that, like, wow, what is going on here? And just all jumping, excited, being grateful for just, listening to my gut feeling, going into the forest, trying to be fearless. So at week 3, I start to, what really hit me from the Toltec guide, some of the indigenous knowledge was about the 5 agreements, was to not take anything personal. And for me, this was just love at first sight. Like it resonated with me instantly, because I have been tending to take things personal, either because I'm like sort of a victim of somebody's bad doings or whatever, or because I'm like this proud man who has to stand up for himself. And either way, it goes like you go down the path of destruction I realized, if you take something bad personally. Because then the person, he gives you something bad, and you put it in your mouth and you put it in your body, and it tastes like shit. And I realized I don't want that. So just being able to step back and see sort of, okay, 2-3 weeks ago, I would have felt bad. Like, okay, I still felt some sort of negative emotion, but I didn't act on it. And that was such a big change for me. Like, come on, bring it, do your worst. It doesn't matter, because it tells me more about you than it does about me. So that was really true wisdom. And I could talk for hours about these beautiful ancient knowledges, but I feel I have to go on. Because in my week 4, I started to feel really grateful. I started to pay attention to my body. And I used to, not too long before I was introduced to MIA, I used to wake up remembering, the first thing I remembered was bad memories. So I woke up with a bad feeling, practically. Like, you wake up, oh, there he goes again. Oh, I remember now. That's a bad memory. That feels like shit. Like feeling, you wake up with a stab wound, sort of. But now I wake up and I don't have a mirror in the ceiling, so I don't know if I was smiling, but like it felt like I was smiling. And I wake up with this good feeling in my body, because I use my mind to focus consciously on more positive things, on what I wanted to focus on. Like sort of trying to listen to my intuition, listen to my heart. This sort of legitimized my dreams. Like it sort of told me, just go for it, man. Why not? Don't question yourself. Don't doubt yourself. There's no reason for it. Life's too short. It's too boring not to do it. So waking up with a really good feeling and feeling so grateful for it, and just thanking my body for feeling good, actually, just communicating with my body. And I also felt that I've been quite like calm. Some would call me lazy, never stressing and not paying attention too much to my tasks, so to speak. But with this, I also realized that, Carl, you have some responsibility, sort of, because you have signed up for exams. So you might as well do them, like do good at them, or at least pay attention to them, acknowledge that they are there, or without stressing, because it's between doing what I want, increasing my energy, and doing what I have to do, sort of being the academical part. And it turned out, I'm out. And I'm implementing Mia in Norway, and it's going very good. It's all good. Thank you for listening. Yeah, I'm doing it like Mariana did with me. I'm offering it to students, and they are accepting. They come to meetings. I have 2 meetings every week. We reflect, we write journals, we do research about it. I'm writing my bachelor's about it as we speak, actually. And we want to expand. Like the students doing this, they want to start a student organization because they really love it. And we have it pretty darn good here in Norway, but it's even better with MIA. So yeah, we also contacted, or we decided that we want to offer this to refugees because there's a lot of them coming from Africa and from Europe. So we wanted to do this with them, and we're in the start phase, so we haven't established much yet, but we have the will to do it. We have the intention to do it. And now I was contacted by someone called Psychology Students Without Borders, and they wanted me to be in their board, just, I don't know, because being me. I haven't talked to them before, but they wanted me to join, and I did. And they have contact with refugees, and they like MIA. So the wheels are starting to roll here in Norway, and it's exciting times. Thank you too.